When my mom and dad met and decided to get married, my dad didn't say to my mom, and my mom didn't say to my dad, hey, you know, we hate each other, so let's get married. You know, it doesn't go down that way. And yet years later, they divorced. Fortunately, they remarried each other, they reconciled, but then because of issues that were in the relationship, they separated for about 5 years, and then they came back together again. But then when I was 11, I learned that my dad was committing adultery, and so there was a lot of pain in their relationship, and pain in my own heart and my sister's heart. My mom and dad got derailed, but the question is, why did they get derailed? You know, have you ever noticed a train on the track, you know, it can start rocking, and if it starts rocking too much, it goes off, it gets derailed. And there are these early signs of difficulties in a relationship. And at first, mom and dad were on the rails and going well. And I believe one reason that we begin to have problems, it's the early symptom of a deeper issue going on, is that we don't have the right tone. We don't have what I call love and respect in tone, the way we speak, the tone, the sound. The University of Washington studied 2,000 couples for 20 years. And they said, no matter what the status, the income, the age, whatever, they found a similarity of tone in all the conversations of those relationships that were successful. When that tone was there, the relationship tended to succeed, and when that tone wasn't there, it didn't. And they said it's love and respect, the tone of love and respect. And this tone is very important because Paul, in the greatest treatise in the New Testament on marriage, Ephesians 5, summarizes that text with, husbands, love your wives, and wives, respect your husbands. In other words, one application is, gentlemen, you have to have a loving tone. Wives, you need to have a respectful tone. And this is what caused my mom and dad to begin to wobble. Dad came across in that harsh, angry, unloving tone. And mom came across in that disrespectful, kind of disgust tone. And they didn't see it. They were, in a sense, tone deaf to themselves. Now, dad heard mom's disrespect, and mom heard dad's lack of love. We hear things on the other side, but we don't often hear ourselves. And if mom and dad had picked up on their own tones, I don't think they would have started rocking back and forth and eventually gotten derailed. Those are the early seeds that get planted, and they're, in a sense, we might say, weeds. And they begin to kind of crack a huge granite, you know, stone, you know, just a little dirt, a little weed in there can crack that. And so the tone, if someone had told my mom and dad early on about that tone of love and respect, I perhaps would not have witnessed some of the things that I did. And thus I'm on a campaign to help couples guard against that unloving and disrespectful tone. Wives, you may hear your husband's unloving tone, but do you hear your disrespectful tone? Soften it. You're not going to lose power. Gentlemen, you probably hear your wife's contemptuous, disdainful tone. I get that. But do you hear your unloving, harsh, angry tone? If we pull back, even though the other may not be what we want them to be, if we pull back, we're going to have the greater influence, the greater power, the greater motivation. We will influence this relationship, and we'll keep it on rail.